Hey, I'm Ken Krell, one of your World Love Week hosts, and I got to tell you, this next session you're going to hear is going to blow your mind. One of the favorite people I've been speaking with over the past years is up next, and I want to make sure you stay tuned, fasten your seatbelts, take lots of notes, and get ready to have a great time. Now, one thing I want to remind you of is that if you haven't gotten your VIP All Access Pass, now would be the best time to secure that by going to worldloveweek.com/dashboard. There's a button right there to upgrade to VIP All Access. Now, why should you do that? Well, there's a few reasons. First of all, the recordings are available to you for life. They'll be in a specific portal for you to access whenever you like. So you can use them to go back and recharge your batteries. Additionally, the sessions that you will have missed, and trust me, you will miss a lot of them because we're here 24/7 for the entire week. So guaranteed you're going to miss something. This allows you to capture the recordings and see whatever you've missed and come back and watch them again and again if you like, and build for you. And you get your own personal World Love Week mug. Now, I can't show you mine because mine is on the way to me, but I gotta tell you that guaranteed you can't throw it away. So go grab your World Love Week VIP All Access Pass right now. Stay tuned, watch your mailbox. Make sure you give us the right shipping address, please. And you're in store for a great treat. Enjoy. I stand for love. Do you? Ladies and gentlemen, Roland Frasier. Hey, Roland.
Hey, Ken, how you doing today?
I'm amazed. I'm thrilled, and I'm happy, and I'm speechless. First of all, to get a moment of your time uninterrupted, I assume it's uninterrupted, is miraculous. And I will tell everybody. Years ago in San Francisco at a copywriting conference.
Uncommon, simple writing.
Yep, it was the Dutch auction.
It was. You're right. Yeah, I remember.
And I remember we were sitting across the aisle from each other, and as he's writing copy and sharing what he's written, I'm like, he doesn't need to be here. He should be teaching this because you have such a great way of expressing what people are saying inside their brains and understanding that. And that gives you a unique ability to do deals and to get things done and to connect with people, which you have done miraculously.
Oh, thanks.
So yeah, I figure, compliment them, get them going, and then, we go in for the really hard questions.
All right, I like it.
So you've been just completing an outrageous training called Epic about how people can buy businesses now and where the opportunities are. Let's start there, because I think that's probably the best place people can play once you have some other thoughts.
No, wherever you like.
Okay, so best opportunities right now. The market is in a great state of disarray, and where's the opportunities right now?
Well, I think the big opportunities are to give, just to capture, to give and capture a share of voice out here, because there's a big void of leadership of people. A lot of people were taken by complete surprise by everything that happened, and they have just kind of hunkered down, and they're in a fear-based position, and they're worried about what they've lost, and how are they going to be able to make a living, make payments, that kind of stuff on expenses that they've got. What's the future look like? How long is this going to last? Most businesses only have 27 days of cash flow. This is longer than 27 days already. And what does the future look like? So there's all of that. And unfortunately, a lot of folks who have who are or were leaders who had people who looked to them for guidance have frozen. And so I think that like you're doing with this program, for everyone who is willing to step up and show that there is a tomorrow, and that it doesn't look bleak, and that there is hope, and that there are action steps that you can take right now today, and to put forth a positive persona is important. And that is what leadership is. Leadership is being ready in tough times to do the things that others shy away from. And so I think it's great that you're putting on this. I think that everybody else that's participating and sharing the value here and not being compensated for it. I think that the people who are at home, who are investing their time in watching a program like this and all the other things that they're doing to learn, this is what's going to separate the future levels of successful people from the future levels of people who are in the same place that they were when they started, or are in a worse place. And that's really critical. So the big opportunity is to step up as a leader. The big opportunity is to give right now. This isn't really a time to take. This is a time to give. But there is a way to give profitably. There is a way to profit ethically. And that's my, the challenge I'm doing. It's called EPIC, right? Ethical Profits in Crisis. We should all be thinking about that. So the things that I've seen that are working the best right now, one is simply to give what you offer for free for a period of time to people, and ask other people to share that, and don't expect anything. Don't require a credit card, just give. And that will help a lot of people, because your program, your offer, your service, your product, whatever it is good, right? And that will allow you to build market share, which means that you will be doubling down on being present, and your competition is pulling back on their marketing spend, pulling back on their content creation. So you're out there capturing and being the top of mind voice in your customer's mind once we get past this challenge. And so at Digital Marketer, for example, one of the companies that I own with Brian Dice and Richard Lindner, we gave our $100 a month lab program away for 30 days. And we were able to generate roughly 62,000 new accounts in that business. Now, most of those won't stick. And we're converting that now into paid accounts, because we're past that 30-day period. And what's interesting is that normally you would expect about between a 2% and 3% conversion. We're going to end up, I think, around 2.5%. So we would expect about 1,500 accounts paying $100 a month. That's great, right? That's good for us. That's 150,000 a month would be $1.8 million a year. They won't all stick, so let's call it 900,000. Every 900,000 helps, right? So, but what's cool about that is we've built a big list, as you will too if you give away your things for free and provide value. And that list will, over time, be worth a lot of money to us, because they will buy things from us, and we'll be able to share our content. They'll say good things about us, which will build goodwill. The other cool thing, though, is on the other side, the 60,000 accounts, the 60,000 people that don't stick, right? Those people got ridiculous value, and we helped them. And that's very, very fulfilling too. So we're able to profit. We're able to serve some small segment of that group. Going forward, it's going to be significant for us and that company to have that extra money and to have those new customers. But it's also significant to us that we helped all the people who didn't convert. We're getting emails right now from people in Kenya and Bangladesh and all these other places that are saying, I couldn't possibly afford to do this, but this has meant so much to me, and this is going to make a difference to me. And that's ridiculously fulfilling. So that go ahead.
As I said, that's great. That's really awesome. And there's another side to it too, Roland, is that as the existing customers, such as myself, when I see you doing that, my goodwill for you and what you do is increased so much. So it's not just new people, it's the existing people that you're serving.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing one. The thing two that's working really well, we've done in a couple of businesses, is, and this was done first in a partnership with Jay Abraham. We were on I invited Jay to talk, and we did a Zoom, and or in this case a StreamYard, and we just gave that. It was just ask us any questions you want. We're both very much strategists and business people, and we figured we could help people out. And we ended up offering. We said that if you're interested, we're going to do a twice a month coaching program where we'll call it a strategic alliance. And so every 2 weeks we'll come on. You ask us all your business strategy, whatever questions, and it's $997 US dollars a month. But we're going to buy your first month for you. So it will be free again for a month. But the difference in the approach is that this isn't free. We're buying this for you, right? We are buying it for you, which was a cool thing. We are just about to go into converting that into the paid people from the free. We have about 400-ish, I think, people in the program right now. So, who knows what will happen with it? I don't really care. The goal that Jay and I have really isn't to go for the $1,000. It's to generate goodwill and also to generate deal flow. Because if just one of those 400 people turns out to want to have us involved in their company, which is our goal, then we had a big win, and we served the other 399 along the way.
Yeah, it's great marketing. It's service marketing.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, even for us, so putting this together, I had no visions of a whole lot afterwards. I knew it was something I needed to do and didn't really flesh out the future, knowing that it was going to show up.
Right.
That take the leap and build the plane as we're flying.
Yeah.
We've been offered a web TV network.
Yeah.
So now we've got people. Now our participants are like, okay, you want a channel, and so now that's something that we can offer them. And yes, it'll be monetized, but it's also greater influence.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's great when you can help people and profit at the same time. That's really what it's about. Because if you can't profit and all you do is help people, you will eventually. It's the giving tree. If anybody's read that, right? If you give till you have nothing left to give, then that's not really serving people, because you need to take care of yourself along the way. And then the third thing that's been I'm in the middle of right now is a challenge. So I talked to a friend of mine, Pedro Adeo, Adeo, who you should definitely check out, who said that he was doing really good things with challenges. He and another friend of mine, Pete Vargas, Vargas, who does speaker training, is Pete going to be on the show?
No, I haven't been able to connect with him. He'd be great.
Okay. If not, let's get him connected to you. So anyway, they worked with Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi for KBB, Knowledge Blueprint, and ended up selling over $1 million in those programs using this challenge thing. And so 1 week before the world shut down, I was in Las Vegas with my business partner, Ryan Dice, who was speaking at Grant Cardone's event, his 10X event. And Pedro and Pete happened to be, Pete was speaking and Pedro was in town. So we got together and Pedro broke down his challenge model, and we were like, this is fantastic. And so I think this is great for a story about taking action too, because I had just hired a marketing director for one of my companies, and he was living in Las Vegas, about to move to Austin. And so since he was in Vegas, and they were moving like the next day or something, and I said, is there any way that you could come over? He's like, yeah, which, kudos to him and to his wife for not freaking out about it. So Matt came over, and Matt and Ryan and I sat with Pete and Pedro as they broke down this challenge model. And I said, okay, let's do it. And I was like, Matt, I just hired Matt. I said, let's do it. Let's make this happen. So 5 days later, we launched this thing.
Epic.
And the thing, Epic, Ethical Profits in Crisis. It was called the Epic Challenge. And it's timely because, we wanted it to be tied to how can you profit ethically during this time of crisis. So we did that challenge. We spent a total of $9,700, and we created a 5-day challenge. And Pedro said it should be themed. So we did. One of my specialties is acquiring businesses with no money out of pocket. So we decided to do how to identify, not acquire, but how to identify 5 businesses to acquire for no money out of pocket in 5 days for $55. And the key here is it's a paid challenge, so people have some skin in the game, but it's not a scary price. It's pretty safe to invest $55. And then we went about over delivering as much as we could. So you then do this challenge over 5 days. You deliver content for 2 days, do a Q&A for a day, skip a day on Sunday, do 3 more days of content. And then on the 3rd day, you've delivered this amazing value, and the people should be able to realize the benefit that you promised when you made the offer. But then you make another offer for whatever your program or product is at whatever the price that you feel is appropriate is. And so we went through that, and if I pull up my little trusty stat thing here right now. Let's see where we are. We're at $512,780 US for the 2 days that this program has been open. So that's a total surprise to us because we had no idea. Our goal was that we would be at 200,000 at the end of the thing. Now we're only in Friday as we sit here interviewing or talking to each other. And Saturday, we will offer a payment plan. So right now, that's money that we've actually collected. Saturday, we'll offer a payment plan, and then Sunday, we'll close out the offer. So typically, you get your most sales on the day that you close out the offer. But it's crazy. Our page rate was converting at about 57%. Our upsells for the front end offer was 55 into 97 for a VIP experience. That converted at about 20%, and then our back end offer of $200 for some books that we had converted at about 25%. So that's crazy just on the front. So we had about, I think, $97,000 on the front, and if nothing else had happened, we would have been very happy with that. We spent, by the way, it's kind of funny the math on this. We spent $9,700 in advertising. We had a 10 times ROAS, return on ad spend, right? And then now our take rate is that I think it's around 18% of the people who came into the challenge have purchased either a $2,000 or $5,000 program. Now we're all about serving them throughout the whole thing. And there's a million little bits of strategy. And Pedro, you should definitely look him up and ask him if you want to.
I definitely want to hear that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want, if I haven't already introduced you to him, or if he's not on here, he should be on here for sure, Ken.
Yeah, I love that. Appreciate it.
Yeah. That's just been shocking. And so we think we're going to end up between 700,000 and, on the high side, maybe even $1 million out of this. And of course, that was with no support. I don't have a big email list or anything. I think we have 500 people on our email list in that company, but we weren't planning for it to be any big thing. Now I own bigger companies.
We got good numbers.
We're launching.
I saw the number of people in that Facebook group because I'm in it. I bought it. And it was 740 people or whatever in that. I'm like, holy mackerel, that's huge. Yeah. And I will also say, just for those that are watching this, the content that Roland has put in place, it's staggering. It's so great. I mean, it's life-changing. So anyone who would not go forward is an idiot because you provided massive value for not just the 2 days. Everything you've done has been great value. And then adding extra Q&As as bonuses because you couldn't get through all the questions it was great. And then a pajama party that you did, just the whole piece of it was really, really well done.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, and your goal has to start out, I'm going to deliver value and I'm going to help people. And so you shouldn't do something like this saying, I'm going to not give them the good stuff. We gave them everything they need to do this. I never want to be one of those people who offers an incomplete program. So we gave them that. There obviously are lots more things that you figure that's a total of about 5 hours of training. You can't possibly know all of the nuances of buying a business and everything that goes with that during that time. But you can certainly deliver some value that will allow people to accomplish things. And we already have people that are doing deals, which is fantastic in the group. So, step one, start with a really great product. You have to provide something of value. But if you can, then this format is one that I think is really worth trying.
Well, actually, let me ask you a question about that because we haven't talked further about that. But what's your plan for that $55? Or you got the recordings of it all. You want to make that available so that you can sell a back end after that? Because that might be something we could offer to our people here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd be happy. I want to keep it as a challenge, but what we're going to do is we're going to do it again to our big list. So we have, I think about 1 million people in digital marketers list, and we have other lists as well. So this was kind of just holy goodness, that's amazing. Like no support from the company, just me and 2 people that really did this thing. And it took off like this. Imagine if we poured the gasoline on it of this other thing. So yeah, we absolutely, let's chat about that and we'll figure out what.
Sure.
I think the key though is, and Pedro told me this, is that that people want to not do it live and they want to to record it and turn it into a course and all that. And the key of the making the micro commitments over those 5 days or 7 days or 30 days or however long you do your challenge is what really gets people invested. And it shows them the proof that they can do it. They build momentum and they see that what you're teaching is of value and does actually work. So by the time you get to day 5, 7, 30, whatever you decide you want to do, they believe. They believe.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've done a great job of getting that done. Some of the nuances of participation where there are bonus bribes and you've got to do your homework and and so on and so forth. There's a whole bunch of different benchmarks that you've got to achieve to do that. And the engagement level is stunning. There's a contest. Who posts? It's just so smart. And people are posting out it's like they're living online. It's like, would you have a life because they want the bonus?
Yeah, exactly.
It's really well done. And I'll tell you, it's interesting. My intention in what we were talking about today was really about buying businesses because in today's marketplace, I see just a massive benefit there, right? Yes. But the strategy behind what you did to create that course and how anyone that's watching us right now can take what they know, even if you don't know what the hell you're talking about, even if you don't think that you know enough, have enough experience, or whatever. If you're a waiter who's out of a job or a flight attendant or a plumber or whatever, plumbers are definitely never going to be out of a job. But if you, right, especially now. But if you're one of those at-risk careers, you can absolutely do the same model that Roland's talking about because you can bring in someone as an expert to fill that shoe. You don't have to be the one that delivers everything.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
So, but I will tell you that, and I'm a big fan of buying stuff. I've been a real estate guy, as you know, and so we began when we were, it's a long story, buying properties, and I was training real estate investors. So I'm a big believer in buying and doing deals. Love that. Doing deals on businesses right now, oh my gosh, I think it's the best thing in the world.
I agree. Yeah, there's so many, and it is really truly helping people because the people who are selling are frustrated, not willing. They might be older, they might not be willing to go through another recessionary time. They might not just have the mental fortitude. They might get sick. There might be deaths. A lot of people are actually not going to make it through this because it's a really serious challenge that we have through the virus. And a lot of people might relocate to help other people, family or things like that. And then, sometimes when the times get tough, it can bring out the challenges of dealing with other people. So there'll be partnership disputes and things like that. And those businesses would literally just go away if there wasn't somebody to step in and take them. So these aren't really troubled businesses. These are troubled people in troubled times dealing with challenges. And so when you come in and you help them not have this thing anymore, but you also save the business, you allow them to have the legacy of the business that they owned or started, you allow the employees to continue to work, and you help the economy because you keep another business open, right? You keep people employed and you keep money running through the system. That's a win for all of us.
Absolutely. And of course, teaching and empowering people to do that is the fundamental part of all of it. But it's 100% true. We really can make those changes. And so and those of us that help the people that are frozen are the ones that really, as you said, become the true leaders of the future. Mm-hmm. I tell people right now that we're zero-based budgeting our futures. And we're starting from scratch. And, even if you were the biggest loser in the world in your mind, now you have an opportunity to completely regrow.
You do. Absolutely.
It's phenomenal. So we have just about another minute or so left. If you want to give somebody like one or two, here's what you should do next, what you should do now, what would you tell them?
Well, I think like just generally, and if you have a business or even if you don't, it's all about runway right now because we don't know how long this thing is going to last. And so everything that you can do in a startup, we have a thing called runway, which is what burn rate, how much are you going negative available right now? So if you're going negative in cash right now and you have an amount of money that's available, you divide the amount that's available by the amount of negative, and that tells you what's your runway. So if you find that you've got $20,000 and you're going negative $10,000 a month, you have 2 months of runway. So I think a lot of this is about how can you extend your runway, and the way to extend it is either reduce your expenses so that your burn is less or goes away as a negative, increase your income so that your burn is less or becomes positive, or increase the amount of money that you have available to you to support you through the burn, right? So I think that the easiest thing right now is to go and get, go get credit, get credit cards, get loans. If the government is offering any kind of stimulus or support, all of that is important right now. So having as much cash available to you, whether it's in terms of just cash or actual credit that's available, that's going to be a big deal. And then going through your expenses and looking at what is your daily, we do this when we do a turnaround business. We'll go in a business that's having trouble. The very first thing we do is we'll chart out 14 days of cash flow, cash in, cash out. Every single day, we'll look at every expense and then we'll say, which of these are not helpful or necessary to the business? Now, you want to be careful, because if you are being educated to help you do well in the future, if you have a mentor, if you're part of a mastermind of people that will help support you, if you're looking for training online, if you've got a business that you need to have space for, all of those things are still helpful and necessary expenses. But all of us that are entrepreneurs have expenses that just kind of creep up on us. It's like, that's a cool software, right? I'm gonna subscribe to that, and then you never do anything with it. And just cutting that out, and it will help you. So I think those three things that getting runway and really knowing your cash flow and looking at those 3 points are important. That's really what I would do first. There's a lot of other stuff we can talk about, but that's really it, is how can you survive through what we've got right now so that you can thrive afterwards.
Amen. Roland, it's been a pleasure. What's the best way people want to reach you and get a hold of you? What's the best way that they can contact you?
Well, thanks for asking. I have a podcast called Business Lunch that's on iTunes and Spotify and all those places where I talk about all kinds of business stuff. I'm everywhere on social at / my name, Roland Frasier, which is, I think, down here because StreamYard is really cool. And also the business buying thing is done at ethicallyprofit.com. So any of those places would be good places to find.
Nice URL. And I will tell you that business lunch should be called business dinner or business buffet, because it is so freaking great. Honestly, I run with you when I'm running now because my gym is closed. And so when I go down to Sydney Harbor and so on, and it's like, you come with me, by the way, just so you know, you're on time.
I haven't experienced the weight loss or calorie burn benefits yet, but maybe if you'd run a little bit faster with me, maybe that would translate. But
right now we're at jog, crawl, walk. Okay. But yeah, I mean, between you and the other people that you had on Business Lunch, it's so good. It truly is. So if you're not listening to Roland's podcast, honest to God, you must. I would say it's mandatory. He had outstanding content. So with that said, I could go on forever, but we both have stuff to do, and we have a tight schedule today. Professor Frasier, namaste. Thank you so much.
Namaste. Thank you.
We'll talk soon.
So that was just another amazing World Love Week session. Now, a lot of our sessions have come from Opportunitython, which was our record-breaking event, which we did a few months back. Now, Opportunitython really focused about the opportunities that are presenting themselves during the time of pandemic. And frankly, what a great way to have an attitude of love, of sharing, of giving, of contribution. I stand for love. Do you?
I stand for love. Do you? Hey, this is Captain Lou, and I stand for love, baby. Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Yes. Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you?